The end of an era rarely comes quietly. On August 27, 2025, Sam Heughan shattered the hearts of millions when he took to social media to confirm what fans had been dreading. Outlander had officially wrapped its final day of filming. With one emotional post, filled with raw gratitude and poignant images, the Scottish actor said goodbye to Jamie Fraser, and to a chapter of his life that had lasted more than a decade. The caption was simple, yet devastating. 11 years, 8 seasons, 101 episodes at Outlander_stars. What a journey. So many memories, so many amazing people I've been lucky enough to work with and now call friends. For longtime fans, those numbers hit like thunder. 11 years of love, loss, war, and passion condensed into one farewell message. The words carried the weight of a man who had lived another life for more than a decade, Jamie Fraser's life. But what truly tore at fans' hearts weren't just the words, but the photos Sam chose to share. In one image, Sam stood in full Jamie Fraser costume, his face smeared with fake blood from a final battle scene. The photo was shocking, violent, raw, yet strangely fitting. Jamie Fraser had always been a warrior, and this was his last stand. The next photo, however, flipped the tone entirely. Sam, still dressed in kilt and armor, munching on a popsicle with a boyish grin. The juxtaposition was almost too much to bear. Here was the man who carried the soul of Jamie Fraser, pausing between takes to indulge in a simple, almost childlike moment of joy. Another picture showed him holding the reins of a loyal horse, a symbol of the Highland spirit. And then came the shot that melted every heart, a candid snap of Sam cradling a tiny kitten, his eyes soft with tenderness. In those few images, fans saw the entire spectrum of Jamie Fraser: the warrior, the lover, the jokester, the protector. It wasn't just a goodbye. It was a love letter. The reaction was immediate, explosive, and heartbreaking. The comment section flooded with crying emojis, broken hearts, and declarations of eternal loyalty. Crying over here, loudly crying, the best book series turned TV series. Thank you for an incredible 10 years. Simply the best. Red heart, wrote one fan. Another added, Outlander has been one of the most amazing displays of talent, passion, and emotion. Be proud of yourself, Sam. You've added something beautiful to the world. And perhaps the most telling message of all, thank you for Jamie Fraser. You've changed our lives. I hope you know the impact you've left on us. Across platforms, hashtags like #GoodbyeJamie, #ThankYouSam, and #Outlander forever trended worldwide. For many, it wasn't just the end of a TV series. It was the loss of a companion who had been part of their lives for over a decade. In his post, Sam made sure to thank those who had carried him through the journey. Diana Gabaldon, the author who first envisioned Jamie Fraser, Stars and Sony Pictures Television. The crew who endured freezing Scottish nights and endless shoots. His beloved co-star Caitríona Balfe, whom he affectionately called his brilliant collaborator, and, of course, the fans. So many people to thank, he wrote, especially JAMMF, herself at Diana_Gabaldon, at Stars at SPTV, my brilliant collaborator at Caitríona Balfe, the cast, crew, fans, and Scotland. Dinna Fash Sassenachs, so much to look forward to, crossed swords red heart black flag. The Gaelic phrase, Dinna Fash, don't worry, was Sam's way of soothing his fandom. A promise that though Outlander may be over, there was still a future filled with hope, projects, and stories yet to come. But in that moment, fans weren't ready to think about the future. They were grieving. Sam's farewell was both heartbreaking and comforting. It was a reminder that even the greatest stories must end, but also that endings can be celebrated as triumphs. The fake blood represented every sacrifice Jamie Fraser had endured. The popsicle represented the laughter that kept the cast alive through grueling shoots. The horse symbolized the wild freedom of the Highlands. And the kitten? That was Sam, showing his tender heart, reminding fans that beneath the warrior was always a man of warmth and kindness. For millions of viewers, this wasn't just Sam Heughan saying goodbye. It was Jamie Fraser himself, bloodied but unbroken, smiling through the pain, and leaving behind a legacy that can never be forgotten. And as fans wiped their tears, one truth remained undeniable. When Sam Heughan closed the book on Outlander, he also wrote himself into television history forever. Sam Heughan's tearful farewell wasn't just the end of a role. It was the closing of a cultural chapter, one that spanned over a decade, changed the face of television, and turned a little-known Scottish actor into an international icon. As his words reverberated across social media, fans and critics alike realized something undeniable. Jamie Fraser wasn't simply a character. He had become a legend. For millions, Jamie Fraser wasn't just the dashing Highland warrior from Outlander. He was a symbol of loyalty, courage, and devotion. Viewers followed him from the misty hills of Scotland to the bloody battlefields of Culloden, across oceans to the American colonies, through heartbreak, loss, and the kind of love that seemed eternal. Sam's portrayal elevated Jamie beyond fiction. With his commanding presence, sharp vulnerability, and quiet intensity, he made Jamie Fraser a household name. Scholars will likely debate the cultural impact of the series for years, but for the fans, the truth is simpler. Jamie became family. One fan put it best in a viral post: "Jamie Fraser isn't just Diana Gabaldon's creation anymore. He's Sam's gift to the world. And we'll carry him with us forever." Sam himself acknowledged that his legacy wasn't built alone. In his farewell, he specifically named Caitríona Balfe, his brilliant collaborator. Together, Sam and Caitríona crafted one of television's most enduring romances. Jamie and Claire's chemistry became the heartbeat of Outlander, propelling it into global success. For Caitríona, Jamie's farewell was deeply personal too. In her own tribute, she hinted at the bittersweet nature of closing a chapter that defined her life. "It's been the honor of a lifetime to walk this journey with Sam. Outlander gave me Claire, but more importantly, it gave me a family." Their collaboration wasn't just acting, it was alchemy. And fans will never forget it. The fandom's response to Sam's goodbye was nothing short of explosive. Across Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, tributes poured in. Fan artists flooded feeds with portraits of Jamie Fraser, some depicting him bloodied but victorious, others embracing Claire one last time. Video edits stitched together Sam's farewell post with iconic scenes, scored with tearful music that sent fans spiraling into nostalgia. Hashtags like #GoodbyeJamie, #OutlanderForever, and #ThankYouSam dominated trending lists worldwide. Even mainstream outlets reported on the phenomenon, noting how rare it is for a television character to inspire such raw devotion. One post summed it up: "This feels like losing a friend. Jamie was there for us in ways we didn't expect. And Sam gave him life with such love. How do we say goodbye to that?" The magnitude of the reaction spoke to what Outlander had achieved. Few shows sustained their power for more than a decade, yet Outlander not only endured, it thrived. It became more than television. It was a movement, one that united fans across continents, generations, and cultures. Sam's goodbye crystallized that legacy. His blood-stained costume reminded fans of Jamie's sacrifices. His popsicle moment reminded them of the laughter behind the camera. His words reminded them that this wasn't just work, it was life. As one entertainment columnist wrote, Sam Heughan's farewell wasn't a post. It was a cultural event. It marked the end of an era where love, history, and television collided in one extraordinary character. But Sam didn't leave his fandom entirely in tears. Buried in his message was a promise. Dinna fash, Sassenachs, so much to look forward to. What does that mean? Fans immediately speculated. Could it hint at his growing career in film, with whispers of blockbuster roles on the horizon? Or perhaps it nods to his entrepreneurial ventures, Sassenach Spirits, his best-selling memoirs, or even the much-rumored cocktail bar he teased earlier this year. For many, though, it was more than a career promise. It was Sam's way of saying that while Jamie Fraser's story may have ended, the bond between actor and fandom had not. There are still stories to tell, journeys to take, and dreams to share. Jamie Fraser may ride into the mist of television history, but his spirit endures. And Sam Heughan, standing bloodied in costume one moment and laughing with a kitten the next, remains the heart that kept Outlander alive for 11 years. As fans wipe their tears and brace themselves for the final episodes, they do so knowing that they've witnessed something rare. A performance that transcended acting. A love story that blurred the line between fiction and reality. And a legacy that will outlast even the final credits. Because Jamie Fraser isn't gone. He lives in the pages of Diana Gabaldon's novels, in the reels of Outlander's history, and in the hearts of millions. And Sam Heughan, tearful but smiling, has already written his next chapter.